Hello, all, and welcome back to the Otaku Journal. I'm the Otaku Journal, and I'm here today with my younger sibling and newbie anime fan, Silver.
How dare you? Newbie anime fan? I've
That's
watched over 1,000 series and you call me a newbie.
to those happy Easter to all of you. I am recording this
It's not Easter anymore.
on the day I'm recording this. It will be have just been a few hours past Easter, and so I'm wishing it to you belatedly. But that's just banter between Silver and I, because I've seen more than him. So Silver, would you mind introducing yourself, giving some background?
Yeah. Um, well, as Otaku said, I'm their younger sibling. And, I've been watching anime since I was a young kid. He introduced me to it when I was probably like 4 years old. And
Do you
so
remember the
that's.
first series?
Oh no. It could have been a number of them. It
Remember,
was
this
either
is
Inuyasha or Naruto.
it was Inuyasha.
Yeah. And but yeah, I've been watching anime for a really long time at this point, almost 16 years now. And I didn't really get into it super big until I was like 8 or 9, but ever since,
You were
as
10
I
when you
said,
got in.
it was somewhere in there, but ever since as I said at the beginning of the video, I've watched over 1,000 series, so
Which to watch 2,000 series usually takes about 14 years, 10 to 14 years. Yeah, I've watched a lot.
but
Okay,
yeah,
and
I'm a YouTuber by the name of Silver Rose on YouTube. I talk about some political stuff, but I
hey,
also do a lot of gaming and music videos. So
hey, we
check
do plugs at the end of videos. That's how we do things
it.
here.
Hey, you told me to tell them
I said to
about
talk
myself.
about yourself. I didn't say talk about your channel. Okay, but in all seriousness, uh, the topic we're going to be discussing today, I decided that I wanted to discuss and do an overview, analysis, and explanation of the genre known as Isekai. Silver, why do you think you have enough knowledge to discuss this with me?
Oh, it's a pretty easy question, honestly. Isekai has always been one of my favorite genres. I think definitely the first isekai I watched was Inuyasha, but the first one that really got me into the series, sorry for bringing it up, but it was SAO, and we all know how honestly horrible that anime was in terms of anime.
You know it's bad
But
when the light novel author himself, Reki Kawahara, even said that he was ashamed of it.
yeah, but down the line, I ended up really picking up on the genre, and I've watched probably 50 to 100 series in it, and there's a lot of different, there's a lot of diversity in it. Like,
We'll get into how the diversity works with it
yeah,
as we're explaining.
yeah,
Okay, something I want to see. Uh, we will be discussing our favorite animes out. We will be discussing our personal favorites of the genre, and also giving explanations into a few different anime that actually help make the genre. Now, there is a lot that goes into the genre, and a lot that is important. But we want to make sure that you understand these are our opinions when we're talking about what's best, what's not.
yeah,
There is no fact on that. And what?
Spoiler warning.
Yes, spoiler warning. We a couple of the stuff we discussed to explain why it fits in this category so deeply and why it affects so dearly. We have to talk about some plot points. So you have been warned. And without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
Okay, so if for those of you who know, anime is a tradition. I'm going to start out by saying that anime is a tradition that starts back in 1917. It was something that most people don't really realize. And it actually evolved after the 40s based on Walt Disney's animations, which is where the word anime comes from. Sorry to all the people who who speak Japanese. I apologize right now for my horrible pronunciations. I don't speak the language fluently yet.
Keyword.
And I apologize for Silver's horrible pronunciation of English. They just sometimes forget how to speak.
Ouch. It's not my fault I speak 5 languages.
Am I wrong, though?
Yeah, sometimes I even speak other languages better than English, and I grew up with English.
German.
German specifically. Heck, I can speak Japanese sometimes better than I can speak English.
Same. Okay, but with that, anime grew. And in the 1960s is when the very first really massively financially famous anime came out. And I will list its name because this is relevant to later on. Its name was Tatamu no Astro. I think.
More commonly known in the West as Astro Boy.
Which was then followed up by the famous series Speed Racer. Or its Japanese title is actually Mach Go 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 Go.
Let's be real here, though. The English dub for Mako Go 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 was completely trash.
Unless we're talking about the movie.
I mean, the movie was alright,
Yeah.
but the anime wasn't.
The English anime.
The English dub of the anime, yeah.
To be fair, so same with Astro Boy.
Oh, fair.
But let's
I
not.
prefer watching that in sub too.
Let's not get into that. That's a different discussion. We're not doing sub versus dub today.
Sub wins every day.
I said we're not starting this. That is a war that we can save for later. You know how that much wars that starts.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Okay. But that led to the creation of multiple genres. The 70s was a growing point for mini anime. Then we get to where the first example of Isekai ever appeared. In the name of what anime? Silver?
Oh, I can't remember its name. I've seen it, but I can't remember its name.
It's Aura Battler Dunbean.
Yeah.
Or as its actual English translation from the actual Japanese would be Holy Sword Dunbean. It was not the best, but it was what gave it was. But the first step in a door is always the most shaky.
Well, and here's the thing. Back then, if you go back now, you would notice a ton of tropes and stuff that would make it not as high on the tier ladder. But back then, everything was brand new with this genre. That's why it was so popular.
Now you're probably wondering. We've been describing anime's origins and we've been climbing up through the years, but we haven't actually. And we said we were talking about isekai. So why haven't we actually discussed what isekai is? Well, this is where we're at. Okay. Isekai is a genre based around the literal translation for Isekai is of another world
Yep.
or to another world. So it is where
More
you go.
commonly said as of another world.
Yes, because the word e, the syllable e put onto Sakai. Sakai literally means world. Is like or not our world, another world, and it is where a person, creature, or just existence is transferred to another world to deal with a problem that exists there or a conflict there.
Not always to deal with the problem though. And that shows up more in modern anime, isekai anime though.
Not modern isekai, more modern manga. Isekai, not modern isekai anime, more modern isekai manga.
True.
Because there's plenty of isekais that are not animated. That would be actually better than some of the ones that come out.
Oh, definitely. Like, there's quite a few series that I'm sitting on that I can't wait for them to turn into anime.
Okay, here's some, and we'll discuss some of these manga that, like, I read more manga than Silver. Would you deny this?
Oh, definitely not. You read manga a lot.
Every day.
I just don't have as much time to read.
And there we will be discussing SAO because there's a manga that I read that is what I would call the improved version of SAO. Okay, so with that, you understand that isekai it's typically called an umbrella term.
I wouldn't quite call it an umbrella.
Because it can be labeled under many shows that exist and are coming out could be thrown under the isekai bubble. Where things coming to our world or things going to another world. Or dimension.
I don't quite agree with that. Because isekai is a more defined genre. Things like romance or comedy would be an umbrella, whereas isekai is defined like it has to meet a certain criteria to be an isekai.
Yes and no. But that's a discussion for the categorization of how anime are categorized. That's a discussion for another video.
Which honestly, we should make that video eventually. Get some more of our group together.
Oh yes, I will be pulling in a couple more of my friends who are starting to record themselves during this horrible time we call quarantine to do more. But back to the topic at hand. So the anime that we're going to start with, I've put together a list that I want to start at. And the first one we're going to start at is one that's very popular right now. That has been popular since 2014. And it is No Game No Life.
Oh, I love No Game. I love it so much.
Or shortened down to NGNL.
A lot of people just call it No Game.
A lot of people think that that's the actual name of the opening too.
Really?
Yeah. You know what the funny part is?
Hmm.
Only one word has changed from that. The actual opening is this game.
Yeah.
But okay, back to the topic.
I thought the opening to No Game was Hikori.
No, it's this game.
What was he? Another time.
That's a discussion for us between us later. Okay, so with that, No Game No Life was in 2014 actually like a blast to bring the isekai genre back.
Oh, definitely. Like between that and SAO, isekai jumped to the mainstream again.
And SAO, even though it was popular, No Game gave the isekai and gaming genres the biggest boost possible.
Well, and part of the thing that I think lended to that was the fact, whereas SAO was a lot more, it had a bit more of a gruff style in terms of the art style. No Game was a very pretty world, like it had a large amount of contrast to it.
No Game,
So,
the
due
world
to
that
that, a lot
exists.
of females were also attracted to the series.
No Game, the world that exists only with colors that art students can see.
Thank goodness I'm an art student.
Because
Well,
oh
I
god,
was.
you will get a headache if you are not prepared. It is like rainbows times 20 million.
Rainbows and sparkles, but it's a dark story.
But and I'll explain on it. That anime here, the actual, I'm only going to touch in on the very beginning, and this is all stuff that happens within the first 12 minutes of the first episode. These two people, they are playing a game, fighting a guild, and they defeat them single-handedly without taking a hit. 1,200 to 4. So they battle. The losing guild wonders who they are, because as you know, internet rumors tend to be more disappointing in real life. Am I right, Silver? So far?
Oh, definitely. Take it from a avid gamer. Like, I mean, you play games, but you're more of an anime. I'm avid gamer, and I've played so many RPGs over the years. You'll hear such amazing things about guilds, and then when you actually go up against them, they just
They're,
get stomped.
they're usually pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to continue with the next part of the description of it?
It's actually been quite a while since I've seen it.
Okay, then I'll continue.
I remember some of the later plot points, but I can't remember exactly how it starts. So that'd be
They
better for you.
the two who are actually doing this are
Shiro
geniuses.
and
Shiro and Sora, or
yep.
as their actual names mean. Shiro meaning white. Sora meaning sky or empty. These two together, their IQ is somewhere around the 400 range. They're playing games when one of them suddenly gets an email. And they are approached to play a single game of chess. To take a quote from the show, that is actually true, and Silver can back this up as someone who plays a lot of chess. Chess is a zero
I was
sum.
actually on a chess team.
Chess is a zero sum, 100% strategy game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's actually a solution to every game to win, as long as you can calculate the board to 1 to the power of 120.
Well, here's the thing. You actually, I mean, yes, that is true. However, the true thing about chess is you don't even play the board. You play your opponent.
Yeah,
I've won games of chess that I
playing
only
against
took
masters.
4 moves, like 3 or 4 moves to beat someone. And then I've been in chess games that lasted 10 hours.
Yeah, that was a freaky one.
It all depends on who you're against.
But okay, back to the topic at hand. Well, when that happened, they won, but that was then they were teleported to another world. I will not spoil how they were, because that is a major plot point, and I want you to have the fun of experiencing it if you have yet to.
Oh yeah, definitely. No Game No Life is one of the ones I definitely suggest from the genre to watch.
But it is, and it literally is, as they say, the some that well actually I'll bring up the topic I was just thinking of in another vid in the game when we discuss gaming and
Okay.
why that genre has such an impact on society. Well, actually, I'll bring up part of what I was thinking a little bit later. Okay, that is that. Now, that anime, I personally love it. It was one of the first isekais to actually catch my attention. Because isekai anime typically tend to be drawn out, overdone, and extremely bland. If even that. Is that about right, Silver?
Back in the day, yes, and at the time there weren't many isekai that fit into the no game no life like fast paced type of setting. And as we had said, no game no life was kind of like a booster for the genre, and a lot of people took inspiration from its tempo, and that's why a lot of the ones you'll see nowadays have a faster pace and are a lot easier to follow.
Okay. And so, what's your thoughts on NGNL?
I mean, it is one of my. I'd probably put it in top 10. I wouldn't say it's number one, but I'd probably put it at like 6 or 7, just because there's been so many great series that have come out more recently
And now,
that I would have to put above it.
now we're going to step on the landmine because I want to get to the point where I can talk. I want to talk about that manga that I like. And I'll say this manga is one of the best ones I've ever read. Okay, but first, to get to that point, we have to discuss none other than the demon SAO. I know that some of you out there will flame me saying that I am an idiot for not liking it, or others will flame them for saying that they're idiots for liking it. Please be careful in the comments. I don't want to see a fandom war.
It's inevitable.
I know, but I
Especially
could
since we
still.
plan on discussing Overlord later too.
Oh yeah, after season. Well,
Season 3 specifically.
Yeah, after season 3, but we're not going to talk about why. And disclaimer: Overlord and SAO will be coming back. Well, and the manga I'm going to talk about will be coming back when we do our gaming video.
Oh, definitely.
Because these are all still gaming anime.
Overlord pulls off the gaming aspect far better than SAO did, though.
And you have no idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the manga I'm just going to discuss.
Right.
Okay, so as we are getting ready to go, SAO. It was a anime that, well, it was an anime / light novel that had massive effects on revitalizing the gaming genre for anime. The little known fact is that it is actually considered isekai because the players in the first season were trapped for a long period, exceeding
Wasn't it
6 months.
2 years or just under 2 years?
It was 2 years.
Yeah.
They were trapped in game for 2 years. Which, I'm not going to explain why they couldn't get out, but because that's a plot point.
I mean, if people haven't watched it, as much as I have a problem with that series, I do suggest you still watch it, because some people do really enjoy it. And I enjoyed the first arc, not for certain reasons, plot-related reasons that I'm not going to get into. But there are some definite issues with that series.
I personally have only one arc from the whole thing that I like. And it's pretty far in. The Mother's Rosario arc.
I like the Aincrad arc, the Gun Gale arc, and the Alicization, which Alicization is by far the best arc.
But with that,
it was the best part of the light novels too.
The world was, the players, as they were stuck in there for so long, that became their world. Their lives there were basically their real life.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years in a
Death game.
area. Well, even with it not being a deaf game, if you're just trapped in an area for 2 years that you don't know, you'll acclimate to that area.
And then when they
It's
finally
simple
came back,
psychology.
many of them could not adjust. And that really affects it when you have put people from ages 12 as the youngest marked age in that game, all the way ranging to people in their 50s who were 50s, 60s, 70 years old playing this game. And that made it where their world was that game. You had to, and so the problems of Einkrad became the problems of the actual people, which changes how it was like. Sure, they had problems on the outside and they had lives on the outside. But to take a quote from one of the characters, you wouldn't know it, but this is the best time of year in this area. The world never changes. It's a program. You only say that because you're not actually trying to experience it. And that is how many people who are trapped in isekai anime feel. And the methods of people going to different isekai anime are very strange and important to note. Like this next one I'm getting to. Okay, the manga is called The New Gate. It was literally this way. A guild, I'm not going to go into details on how it is because it would spoil a lot of the good key points because it's very fast paced. Only 56 chapters have been released and it is like skipped maybe about 5 months of time. Here's what happens. The manga starts out with the main character fighting the final boss of a death game. He wins. Then suddenly he stops to watch as the names on a list of players go away as they log out, get away from the game. After that, he goes to log out, and just as he does, a gate swings open. A door in a room swings open, and he is teleported to another world. He does not want to be there. He constantly says throughout the series that he's looking for a way to go home because he made a promise that he can't fulfill if he stays. Whereas I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer or anything like that with that. Okay, that makes sense, Silver?
Yeah, I do suggest that we move a little bit faster through because we've been in call for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, the video is getting up to almost 30 now. Sorry, you and I are both analyzation people, so we get to that.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's
for the sake of
move on.
simplicity, we should move a little faster.
Yeah, moving on. Okay, so with that, he wanted out. And he's constantly searching for a way out. While there are other anime that want to stay where they're at, they don't want to go back. Example given, ReZero. For those who are not ready, do not watch ReZero. It's graphic. Let's put it that way. Is that about right, Silver?
Definitely. It's one of my favorites.
It is amazing, but God, is it graphic.
All right.
And then we're going to do Boy and the Beast real quick, and then we'll get to how it affects society.
Boy and the Beast. Then we should discuss our favorite anime from the genre, and then how it affects society.
Yep. And sorry to those sorry to everybody watching. I'm new to video. I'm not good at videos yet.
He's still building his charisma and stuff. Well, we're talking about video games. He's building his charisma stat. And I've been doing YouTube for probably about, almost 3 years now?
Yeah, my charisma stat is next to 0, while my intelligence stat is next to like I got like 100 in intel and about a 2 in charisma.
But yeah, I mean, you'll get there though. Like, as I said, I've been doing this for a few years, and the ability to carry a conversation and just keep talking when it feels like they're the silence is overwhelming is a skill that'll come with time.
Okay, so now let's get to Boy and Beast.
Okay.
The Boy and the Beast. Now,
Definitely.
again, one more
I'd probably
time.
just put it at number 2 or 3 out of isekais.
Okay, now again, we will give out say this one more time. Spoiler warning.
Definitely.
Because
we're gonna have to go in depth on this one.
This is what would be called a double isekai. The characters are a young child who has lost his family and a man, if you want to explain
from
how.
The spirit realm.
Yeah.
It's sad that I need to go back and rewatch this because I remember the plot, but it's been so long that I don't remember the names anymore. It's been like 2 or 3 years since we watched that.
It's been 4 years since we've seen it.
Really?
It was 2016.
Oh shoot! It was my sophomore year.
Because it was the summer between my junior and my senior year.
Wow.
Okay. Back to what we're saying. The boy goes to the spirit realm, but the spirit comes to the earthly realm constantly, and they're constantly living in other worlds that aren't theirs.
Well,
I'm trying to be vague so that I'm not spoiling too much.
I wouldn't say that the beast lives in the other world as much. The beast actually took the boy in, and they lived in the spirit world
for a while. Yes.
Yeah. Which isn't revealing too much. It's early story.
But it would be what is considered a double isekai.
Yeah, because they both go between worlds. All in all, though, this is The Boy and the Beast. It's probably about an hour and 40 minutes long, something close to that.
It is. That's actually pretty accurate. It's like 143.
Yeah. And it's one that I do consider a must-watch from the isekai genre. Even if you aren't that big of a fan of isekais, it is a must-watch.
Oh, now we will get into our favorites.
Oh, that's right. You go first. I need to think.
As I was saying, like, one of my favorite video isekai related things is without a doubt Shitara Tensei Dataken. Shitara Tensei wa Dataken. Or if you would mind translating that for me, Silver.
Oh, sure. That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yes, because it takes a man who was the embodiment of living a normal life, besides having living a normal Japanese worker's life, climbed the social ladder, worked up, and is now a successful businessman, makes money, but doesn't have a love interest, and he loses his life. He's transferred forcibly to another world through a system known as reincarnation. And it is not uncommon for people from our world to be forcibly dragged across to their world. It is like really in-depth storytelling. It describes his actual thought process, shows how he actually freaks out, how a normal person would freak out, be scared of what's going on, but then shows that he calms down, uses logic, and understands what's going on. Thinks of the most realistic solutions. Instead of trying to come up with, instead of trying to force it, they let it flow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Probably I would have to say, out of the ones I've seen so far, Overlord would have to be the one that takes my number one spot. Simply because the way it utilizes game mechanics is a lot closer to how things would work in reality. Not to mention, I can almost identify with uh, Momon or Ainz,
Momonga.
and
We're not explaining the Ainz thing because that's let that come out.
yeah, like I
He's
can
Momonga
identify with him a bit better than I can with a lot of the other characters, and it's just simply because the way my mind works.
He's
It
also a
would either
gamer
have to be, yeah, he is a gamer, and that's why I also identified a lot with Shiro when I watched No Game No Life.
because it's things like they do things in that we as gamers actually do.
And especially with the high IQ thing of Shiro, I identified a lot more with Shiro, but in terms of how I actually act, especially when playing a
You're
game,
closer to
I would
Sora,
be a lot closer to Momon.
Momon or Sora, while I am closer to Shiro.
Yeah.
It's not that I shut down. I just take the emotion out of it.
Yeah. And I can't do that.
But there is one that I would say I love to watch. Even like I would rank as like my top 3 best isekai in the world that I've ever seen. The number 3 spot would have to go to Gate, thus the Japanese self-defense force spot there,
Okay.
because it literally takes a normal, unassuming guy named Yuji Itama, not Yuji, Yoji.
With respect, keep the descriptions brief on this.
I am Yoji, and throws an unassuming otaku into a crisis of mass invasion and slaughter, where he has to either step up and help lead or watch innocent civilians die, foregoing his own passions to do it. And that is
I
what
still
he.
need to watch that. That sounds so good.
And then the next day, he has to go through the exact place where they came from and bring the war back to them. It is an anime that
Okay.
doesn't force it, but makes it flow. And the thing is, in the first few minutes of the episode, you are introduced to the 3 main supporting leads in the series when he hits his head.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into how it affects the world
Okay.
and the entertainment industry.
While now this is a lot better to discuss because there's actually a lot more to it and easier to explain. It's analytical for me. The reason why this genre gets so much attention and is actually focused on so much is because it is a form. Silver, tell me if I start speaking too fast because I'm analyzation time.
You are.
Oh, sorry. I am very fast when I speak whenever I get into analyzing. I just realized I just got a joke from Fluffy because of my neck.
Mm.
But no, the world, as the quote from No Game No Life that I was going to bring up, This world is unfair. It has 7 billion players making whatever moves they want. If you win too much, there are penalties, and if you lose too much, there are penalties. You know
You're
what I
cutting
call?
out a bit.
Oh, sorry. You know what I call that? It a crappy game, right?
Definitely feel that one.
And that is why the isekai genre is so enticing to many people, because it brings them to another world, lets them escape from their from the dark twisted realities that we actually face as people on a daily basis. All the stress, all the hatred that we fear, we don't like. We can just
And that's
turn it off and go and watch an isekai. See someone else live a fantastical life that's different.
and that's why when it comes to isekais, not always. It was more common in the older days. You would see people protagonists that were very bland as sort of a self-insert type of thing.
Even
And
now, there's
that sits more on a psychological level, like it gives the person watching more of a chance to actually insert themselves into that world for a little while.
and this has actually helped the entertainment industry because as people have started to realize, many movies nowadays, like actual Hollywood movies, are otherworldly type movies. They take you out of the world and throw you somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like an
All
example
right.
of what I would call a isekai from Hollywood, Hunger Games,
Kind of.
because it is not. It is our planet, but it isn't our world. Because Panem is everything but the U.S. destroyed. It is a dystopian future, and nobody wants to be there. You're brought along as like a camera watching it all. If that makes sense. Okay, well, the I think it's time for us to start to wrap this up.
I can agree.
Well, Silver, mind talking about your channel a little bit?
All right. Yeah, my channel, over on my channel, originally I was planning on doing some YouTube reaction videos to some of the newer anime, and YouTube Sama didn't really like that much. More like Sony. But
So Sony-san is abusing YouTube-san's algorithm.
nah, it's their right to refuse people doing
They
reaction
they
stuff, and I
abuse it.
understand that.
They still abuse it.
But all in all, I do a lot of music stuff. I write my own music and post it there. I have done some theories, and I'm probably gonna do some reviews here soon on some animes I'm watching. One that I'm watching right now that I'm really enjoying is Bofuri, and
Tell them the English title
I
for
do.
that.
What was the English
If
title?
you don't know it,
I
then I
don't
can
like
give it.
getting hurt. I don't like getting hurt, so I built a full defense build,
the
something like
The
that.
actual translation is, I don't like being in pain, so I'll put all my stats into defense.
All right, but and I also do gaming vids, some of which are going to be coming out here soon. So you'll put a link to my channel down in the description, right?
Yeah, just it'll take some time for me to buffer and render this, but yes,
All right, cool. But yeah, thanks for having me.
thanks for being here. And to anybody who is wanting to know, my logo is actually designed by Silver.
Guilty as charged.
They will be fixing the gender because they're so used to making female art, they accidentally did it for me too. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It'll just take me some time to do the changes. Honestly, not that much time if I can get my graphics tablet back, but otherwise it'll take some time to do the pixel art.
But if you want to seek some tips for art, or if you are to anybody who is trans who seems to hop upon my video, if you wish to see a channel that can help you out, maybe help you connect, please go to Silver. Silver discusses this stuff, and they will actually be doing a reaction to all my anime fans. They are actually going to be doing an analyzation of how accurate the anime Wandering Sun is on trans life on their channel.
Throw me under the bus there, but okay, I can do a review of it.
Is it a bad idea?
Actually, that's a pretty good idea. I wouldn't mind doing that. I need to watch it, but it'll probably be a few weeks or so for that because I'll need to
Watch it a few
watch the
times
anime and script a review.
and watch it a few times to make sure you catch
Yeah.
all the points, because the first watch you're always going to miss something.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I can do that.
Well, this has been a fun time.
Definitely.
Go ahead. Well, with that, I close up my journal, and that is the end of that note. I'll see you next time.